Cowboys, we were talking about yesterday the 30 visits that they're having. It gave you a little bit of an indication of where they might be thinking about positions, players. There's a position I believe I've identified that they're clearly chasing here with some of their names. We talked about Wilson from North Carolina State, the linebacker. And I think that linebacker is a position that they're chasing here. Cooper from Texas A&M was a 30 visit that they've talked about. Wallace, the linebacker from Kentucky. I feel like that there's going to be some down-the-line guys, and we'll have to see if we get those other names, if they're interested in these particular players. But there's three guys that I want to talk about, three linebackers that I feel like that should be on the Cowboys' radar. If they don't grab one of these top guys that I mentioned, Wilson's my favorite one from North Carolina State, but he's dealing with some knee stuff, some shoulder stuff. Cooper's a very talented player at 6'3", 230 pounds, very physical. He can blitz. He's borderline 'maybe a first-round guy to some people on their boards. And then Wallace is an inside linebacker that would fit very well here. He's 6'1", 237 pounds out of Kentucky. Very, very physical player. Might have to be a guy that you would potentially have to take at 56 if you want. But I'm going to focus on some guys that I feel like that maybe that pick at 87 might be where you're at. If you're looking at, say they take a tackle, a center, a running back, can they somehow trade to get another third-round pick? Can they trade to get a fourth-round pick? If they have to get a linebacker, I think they can get one of these guys. And I'm interested to see if, in fact, this turns into 30 visit guys that maybe they will hear like, oh no, they brought these guys in. They're looking at these guys because I think it's clearly a position that they're hunting right now.
Okay, so they're still, despite Eric Kendricks, despite Overshown coming back, Damone Clark, they still feel like linebacker is a big draft priority.
Like I said, they released several names yesterday of linebackers, and we're all kind of in the media digging to try and get the others. But I wonder, like I said, my gut feeling is that there's more of these names on that list. There's more linebackers on that list. And right now I'm going to take a stab at this.
Right on.
I'm going to take a stab and talk about three guys that maybe you should know about.
Okay.
Because they're all fit right where, and they're all together there in the third round. And it makes a lot of sense at pick 87 if they want to go this direction. Jaylan Ford's a linebacker from Texas. He's an inside linebacker. He's 6'2". He's 240 pounds. He's a real downhill player when you watch him as a linebacker. And I mean downhill, he's going to attack you. He really is. He likes the physical side of this game. I've seen him knife through like gaps and creases. He moves really well for a man.
Real Ray Lewis, huh?
Yeah, he moves really well for a guy this size. And he's one of those guys that when the ball goes right at him, he's going to make the stop. There's when they ask him to bend and run and turn, he has a little bit of stiffness to his game. Maybe not the most fluid moving guy that way, but you can line him up at a lot of different spots, and he is going to make his share of plays. And I think that at his size, Mike Zimmer, that's something that Mike clearly wants. He wants linebackers that have some size to them. And Jaylan Ford at 6'2" and 240 pounds, I feel like fits that bill for them in the third round if that's the case. Next guy I want to talk about is Tyrone Hopper from Missouri. And you know me, my love for Missouri linebackers. With Bolton from Kansas City, that was Nick Bolton. That was one of my guys. Missouri did a nice job last year. Turn thing around. They've got a lot of talent. They've got offensive linemen that you have to look at. They've got corners you have to look at. But they've got another linebacker here at 6'2", 231 pounds. And this guy's a transfer from Florida. So he was an SEC player. He still is an SEC player at Missouri, but highly recruited kid at Florida, and then transferred to Missouri. And this guy is, you talk about a super active player when it comes to, talk about getting him to the ball. He works really hard to get there. This guy makes a ton of plays due to his instincts and athletic ability. Again, another trait. When you talk to Mike Zimmer, he wants linebackers that have size, but also has instincts to their game.
Got to have that, dude. That's been an issue.
Been an absolute issue.
And it's so tough. The linebacker's always been that sport, but especially now with these offenses and how much they're throwing at you and all the disguising and the window dressing and the different motions and stuff that they're throwing at you, man. It is tough.
Yeah.
To know where to be.
You have to be, especially with, like I say, the way Mike's scheme is, he is going to not. You have to account for how you play when it comes to your technique and also, though, your smarts. Mike is not going to put people on the field that don't understand what their responsibility is and make mistakes. Now, coaches, we could say that about a lot of coaches. Coaches don't want to put dumb guys out there, but especially Zimmer. He has no tolerance at all for guys, especially at linebacker, that don't play with any instincts. And this guy, Tyron Hopper, plays with a lot of instinct. He's got excellent quickness. He's got really good speed. He's got the change of direction you want. He's got length as a wrap-up tackler. He plays with his eyes. He's a run-chase linebacker, more so than what I would say that downhill thumper, what we were talking about with our previous guy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the style of the player I want. I just want him to get a great linebacker. And I'd be willing to be a little patient here. You make the right pick here, and you might have a guy in year 3 or 4 when you're ready to win the championship with a really nice roster, but they can't afford a draft like last year. Can't afford to get too cute or prefer a style. Just get a good player.
No, they can't. And these guys I'm going through they're good players. And if they don't address this in the first or second round, I feel like these are the guys we're probably looking at right now when we do our draft coverage and we start talking about, okay, who's the best available player? These are the guys, if we're looking at linebackers, these are the guys that are going to be there. But this guy, Hopper, he makes a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. He knife through through ease. He plays with a ton of energy, the effort. He's smooth. He's fluid. He would be a guy that I would absolutely love for the Dallas Cowboys to draft. All right, another player here, my last guy that I want to talk about, and again, these are guys that maybe are 30 visit guys, we'll see, but they've provided a list of guys before. Like I said, I think they're hunting guys. I really, really do. But Nathaniel Watson's a linebacker from Mississippi State. Okay, this is a fifth-year senior, and I've got a shot to be really, really wrong about this player, because the size and the length are what you are looking for in a player, especially at linebacker. What I really struggle to see with this guy at times is, and I went through several games, even the Senior Bowl, trying to get an idea of his ability. But what I could tell is he does run exceptionally well. He has the ability to chase the ball to the outside. Where I have a problem with this guy is when the ball is run right at him, there's several times where the blockers will take him out of the play. Texas A&M did this to him. Alabama did this to him. But when he has a clean shot to run at the ball carrier or the quarterback, he'll do some really, really good things. So the thing that I worry about a little bit is, though, I worry about as him taking on blockers. And is he making all these plays as what we'd call, is he a cap player? C-A-P, clear air production. If you're a cap player, you run and you make plays with nobody blocking you. But can you make plays with people? Can you shed people and make plays?
Yeah.
And sometimes his eyes could be all over the place. I would not say that his pass coverage is all that great, but when he does get in position, he can tackle. He can be a physical player when necessary and make plays. But the struggle that I have is, can you take a guy that struggles at times getting off blocks? But
no,
all these linebackers that I've talked about, if Dallas is not picking them at rounds 1 or 2, this is what you're looking at in round 3 and that 87th pick, or if they get an extra pick. So
choose your shortcoming of preference.
Choose your guy here. Talented guys. All of them have size. Watson is 6'2", 233. So they're all big linebackers when you start to talk about size.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to be inviting to the Cowboys when they look at this, look at these linebackers, and hopefully they'll get the right guy.
Well, it's exciting because I feel like you could do anything at 24. I wouldn't be afraid to take linebacker if he's the best player available.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big proponent of the offensive line, but with Mike Zimmer here, to me, it gives them a chance to adequately prioritize it in a way that might bring in our first really, really good linebacker since what? Rolando McClain, Sean Lee? When's the last time we had an actual good one? Leighton Vander Esch was all right.
Yeah, Vander Esch.
He had some games where he had, you know,
he had stretches.
He was on a nice run his rookie year.
Yeah, rookie year.
Yeah.
But then that was the tipping point with NFL offenses that they started to become towards the end of that season. And that playoff game in Los Angeles where McVay and company, and all of a sudden C.J. Anderson's running all over your defense, and Vander Esch and Jalen Smith just looking lost.
Yeah,
that was
and
bad.
that's where it's been now. So I would say, probably Sean Lee to just be like a surefire, thoroughbred linebacker at his core.
Been a minute. Okay, thank you, Broaddus.
Thank you.